And all the proceeds go to the Arctic Refuge Defense Campaign, which helps to fund the touring for protecting both the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge and the Tongass National Forest, and also for combating climate change. And does anyone have any questions? Sure, right there.
There was a man standing looking out at the water, and on the back of his shirt I thought it said Forest Crimes Unit. What is that? And what do they do?
That was a Greenpeace. He works for Greenpeace on that boat, and what they do is they like to emphasize the fact that they are committing a crime by cutting down the forest. And that same boat was recently in the rainforest, even though it's the Arctic Sunrise. They were in the rainforest where they were illegally cutting all kinds of trees. And in the Tongass, it's a crime against the forest, and they're trying to raise awareness to the fact that they're violating environmental laws, which is why we're stopping all these logging projects in court. And so they're calling it the Forest Crimes Unit. They go in, investigate, and identify reasons why it would violate environmental laws and why the logging has to be stopped. And that assists in lawsuits that it's really wonderful how the environmental community works. The Sierra Club, Greenpeace, Alaska Coalition, Alaska Wilderness League, Southeastern Alaska Environmental Coalition, the Tongass Conservation Council, a lot more groups, a whole bunch of groups all working together in concert in court together, and we've been winning, and that's how we do it, is by raising awareness to the fact that this is a crime. The clear cutting is a crime. It's a violation of a lot of our environmental laws, and that's why we're beating them in court. And hopefully we can avoid even having to get to court by stopping it in the legislature. Back there?
Yeah, the logging companies, who are they? Who controls the interests?
There's a whole bunch of different companies that bid on it. I don't recall the names right now. A lot of them are Asian companies, and so I know Monsanto, even though they also do genetically alteration stuff, they also do some logging. Mitsubishi, even though they also make cars. I remember those names because I know them for other reasons. They make cars, but they also do logging. Those two are part, but there's a huge number of different companies that bid on the logging projects. And then companies come in and buy the logs. But I don't recall a list of all of them. But I know Mitsubishi and Monsanto are two of them. Back there?
Yeah, two questions. One, what human usage is there on the Arctic National Wildlife Reserve? And number two, what's your estimate of the percentage of people in the state of Alaska who would agree with you on the no roads in the Tongass, no cutting?
2%.
Well, in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, where I've been to 4 times, and I went to shortly after this journey, there aren't that many visitors, probably a few more, between 1,000 and 1,500 a year. But there are native peoples, about 7,000 Gwich'in people who live off the porcupine caribou herd that have their calves right on the coastal plain. And the Inupiat peoples, in addition to getting most of their subsistence out in the Arctic Ocean, they also hunt caribou. And so they are critical elements. And even though not that many people go to see the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, millions of people wanted to just be there and know that they could see it if they wanted to. There's a lot of people that want that area protected. It's the last 5% of the North Slope of Alaska that has not yet been open to oil development, and it preserves the biological heart of the last intact Arctic ecosystem in the world with the free-ranging caribou herds. A very, very critical ecosystem that we need to get permanent protection now. Luckily, the immediate threat is over. We've beaten back more than 100 attempts to destroy the Arctic Refuge in the last 29 years. We are in a very fortunate state politically with Congress and the President in terms of protecting the refuge, but we cannot take it for granted. Now is the time we need to get permanent protection so we don't have to worry about it being threatened by a change of politics. As far as the roads in the Tongass, I heard a lot of mixed opinions. I have not seen a poll on that issue. I've seen polls on the Arctic Refuge issue, but I have not seen a poll of Alaskans on the roads in the Tongass. I've heard mixed opinions. A lot of them want it the way it is. They like their forested area. Some of them would like to be able to drive in. They complain about the cost, $1,000 cost of bringing a car in on a ferry. But I'm not sure what the percentage is on that issue. Robert?
I just wanted to ask you about the new administration. Is it your opinion that they're just too busy with other things, or that they are not in agreement with rescinding the road building?
I think they're busy with other issues. They have restored the roadless area to certain areas. I don't know why they haven't restored it to the Tongass. I've never heard Obama say he's in favor of the logging. So I think it's politics, and but we just need to pressure him a lot more, and I think he will be concerned about this issue. I think it's just he's focused more on other issues. But it was very, very unfortunate that he did not completely restore the roadless area. I don't know why he skipped the Tongass, but we definitely need some letters to Obama. And also you can call the White House too, and they have web forms to get in. You have your hand up next.
Well, who actually owns the Tongass?
We do. It's a national forest.
So it's not up to the Alaskans to decide what to do with it, right?
Exactly. And same with the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, thank God. Although it is changing in Alaska. It used to be a lot more than in favor of drilling. Now it's shifting. But yes, these are national treasures. And we as U.S. citizens own the Tongass National Forest, and we should act that way. They are devastating our property, and we need to speak up and say, we do not want to see this treasure clear cut. We want this area for future generations and the fishing industry, and for our economy. This is a very significant, about $125 million come in from the salmon industry in Southeast Alaska right into the U.S. Treasury. The clear cutting is destroying that. That's a sustainable every single year, and that doesn't count the billions of dollars that comes in through the tourism industry into this region. People coming to catch salmon is a lot more than even the amount of salmon that are exported for food.
Are the cutover areas a fire hazard?
The Tongass, if you look at all of the literature from about 10 to 15 years ago and back, they always said it's a rainforest, it doesn't burn. Climate change has changed that. And climate change, now there are forest fires. And certainly they're caused by the slash piles left over after logging. But it's also because now it's a lot warmer, it's a lot drier, and it's flabbergasted to the Forest Service. They didn't have any fire protection. It's a rainforest. All the literature I've got, it says, prior to 15 years ago, say it doesn't rain, don't worry about your campfire. You won't see that in any other Forest Service literature. And even the Hoh Rainforest, Hoh Valley and the Olympic National Park, which is the rainforest, they still are a little concerned about forest fire. But now there are significant forest fires every year. It's getting worse, and it's caused by both logging and climate change. And another impact of climate change, I did